can I say it? Can I really say it? What in the Doge is going on? It's been a crazy time here with cryptocurrency, Dogecoin, and actually almost like not everything in the cryptocurrency space, but there has just been a lot of development. Hey, what's going on, y'all? This is Jeff Rose. Welcome to Wealth Hacker Labs. Doing something a little bit different here. It's been a minute since I've given any sort of update on what I have been doing investment wise, especially in the cryptocurrency space. And just really quick for those that are either new to the channel or missed out on some of the other videos. I mean, there was a stretch. Where I did not own any cryptocurrency for a very long time. And oh, how things have changed. So I think it was maybe a couple of years ago whenever Bitcoin initially dropped down to 3,000. I got in a little bit. So 7,000 I got in. I've got in a few other times. Now I currently own Ethereum and also some other coins and looking to make some other investments. So I wanted a few things just to kind of show you where I'm currently invested in with cryptocurrency. So you can see what I have, where I have it, also showing like how much I currently have invested, what my gains are right now, my unrealized gains, because I've not sold off anything. So right now it's just all my gains on paper. And then also just talk about what I feel the next direction is. So that is what we're going to do right now. Now, we can talk about Doge. Let's start there. Let's talk about Dogecoin. So I shared this tweet the other day, and this was a screenshot from my Robinhood account, and this was I think a few days ago. And I don't know if you can read that right now, but it's basically just showing what I bought, showing hey, I bought Dogecoin for fun. And so for fun, meaning that I put $20,000 in. And at that time, I think this was, gosh, was the other night? I forgot what time I actually took. It says that was 11:58 p.m. So 11:58 p.m. See the time there at the top. I took a screenshot, and that was my account. Now, actually, I was down from where I was the night before. No, that was 11:58 a.m. I'm sorry. I'm all over the place right now. But I was actually up like 75,000 or something like that. And it's been back and forth. Those that are just you want like time of this recording, this is what Dogecoin currently is right now. So just above 60 cents. But we had hit a high around 66, 67 is where we were at, like just not too long ago. And so the funny thing about my Dogecoin purchase was I didn't own any Dogecoin. And I wanted to buy some, like I wanted to get in, but I kept telling myself like, I had my Robinhood account, but with Robinhood, if you buy cryptocurrency, you technically don't hold it. They hold it for you, which basically all that really matters is that if you ever want to transfer your account out of Robinhood, you can't transfer your crypto with you. So you have to basically sell and then repurchase it, which could be a huge tax gain that you don't want to do. So it's just kind of this whole pain in the butt thing. So I kept telling myself this. I kept telling myself I don't want to buy it at Robinhood because I want to hold it. But at the time, BlockFi, which I have one account with, Coinbase, also have an account with them as well. You can't buy Dogecoin. And at the time, like it wasn't interested in opening up another crypto account somewhere else. So I'm like, I just didn't do it. And then here I am, I'm talking to my neighbor. We were just outside and he mentions like Dogecoin. And I think he bought his through Robinhood. And I'm like, you know what? At the time I had like I believe around 100,000, maybe a little bit less, but around $100,000 in cash inside my Robinhood account because I had been building this up I was building a dividend portfolio. And the goal was, hey, I want to build this up to where I've got $1,000 a month of dividends coming in. So that was the plan that I was executing on that plan. But I just got to a point where I didn't like some of the dividend stocks I was looking at. So I was kind of waiting a little bit. So anyway, I had all this money sitting in cash. And then I decided to finally pull the trigger and buy some BlockFi. And that's what I did. That's what I did. But anyway, I'll come back to that. I first wanted to share, okay, what I currently have. So obviously I mentioned Dogecoin. I'm going to start with my first crypto account, and this is with Coinbase. So there was a big bump here. Oh, you can't see my screen. I gotta share my screen. So here's with Coinbase. Let me make this a little bit bigger so you can see, exactly what is going on. All right, and so if you see that big bump there, that was because I had just deposited some more, ended up transferring that to BlockFi, which I'll explain here in one sec. So, but right now, so this is my Coinbase account, and here are my holdings: Bitcoin, Ethereum, some smaller positions in Cardano, Litecoin, Bitcoin Cash, etc., etc. So here's the crazy thing. So the Coinbase, I'm not gonna tell you how much I broke down into each one, but with Bitcoin, my current principal, like what I put in, is $41,000. So $41,000 is how much I have put in. And if I could actually show you what the current value of that is, my wallet, now it shows. Oh my goodness. You would think that I would know how to use this platform. Oh my goodness. Here we go. Bitcoin. So once again, $41,000 is what I put in, and that is the current value. So 183,000. So right now I've got 3.28 Bitcoins. With Ethereum, I put $20,000 in, and it is worth 45. And just recently, I bought some Cardano, and that was a buddy of mine who told me about Cardano. I put $10,000 in, and it is currently worth 14,000. So right now, my principal that I have put in is just over $71,000. So $71,000 has almost 4x, more than 3x on how much the gain is. I mean, this is like, I just have to almost like pinch myself. Like, is this for real? And this is like me getting a Bitcoin when it was 7,000, and then I bought more when it was, I think, 50,000. I think not a huge block there, but at this point in time, like I haven't lost anything. Granted, I haven't gained, haven't sold. I get it, but that is where I'm at. So right now in this portfolio, Coinbase account, I've got $250,000. So that is my first account. Now the second account, so this is BlockFi. So with BlockFi, when I first opened my BlockFi account, the idea here was I'm using this purely as a cryptocurrency savings account. At that time, it was all new to me. Like I didn't fully understand how they were paying interest. I didn't understand like stable coins. I just kind of bought Bitcoin on a whim. So with BlockFi, like I was very cautious in the beginning. Still am a little bit cautious. Like I'm trying to like not get too cray with like what all I got going on. So with BlockFi, as you can see, I've got a balance of $201,000, and this account was open on September the 20th. Put $10,000 in. November, I put in another 15,000, so 25,000. Another 50,000 this past February, and then just recently, as in like, gosh, maybe just a few days ago, added the $100,000. But it is not all in stablecoin. I have purchased some cryptocurrency. Actually, let me just be 100% straight up here. I like BlockFi. I mean, I love the interest. I mean, I know you can go to Gemini. There's a few others you could do this. Their platform, just like their website and their app, are just They're just, they're not definitely getting any advice from me as far as like the design wise. I mean, you can go back and forth with Coinbase versus BlockFi, and it is like night and day different. It is like, I don't know, like having Gmail versus AOL or whatever. I mean, that's probably a poor analogy, but anyway, so right now, let me just get that out of the way. So that's out of the way. So with BlockFi, I have, as you can see right here, I've got 26,000 in Bitcoin and then 24,000 in Ethereum, and the rest currently is in a stablecoin. Now with so there's a few things here. So with the Bitcoin, that dropped down. I believe it was around 50,000, and then I exchanged some of my stablecoin for Bitcoin. With Ethereum. Same thing. I think you can actually see where, so there's an interest payment. So here back in April. Oh, I know why. I know. Here's what happened here. So the thought process here was this was right before Coinbase was getting ready to go IPO, and everything I was reading, like, man, when this goes IPO, like Bitcoin's gonna get more attention, Ethereum's gonna get more attention, everything should start going up. Good theory. Bitcoin is, I kind of went up, it's kind of leveled out a little bit. Ethereum continues just to go up. So at that time, I felt a good amount of Bitcoin of whenever the CoinDesk IPO was coming out. I call it CoinDesk, Coinbase, excuse me, Coinbase. But I didn't have a lot of Ethereum, so that's why I decided to load up with Ethereum back on that date. So that is what is going on there. And then the other big change, if you saw this interest payment, not a huge change, but basically how I have it set up now, all the interest that I earn either from Bitcoin, Ethereum, or my stable coin is all paying in Ethereum. And that was, I felt a way just to kind of like, all right, I'm going to reinvest my interest back into Ethereum, into an investment. I hope that's going to continue to grow and compound. So I'm earning interest and also growth. You know, this is kind of like buying a dividend paying stock that's paying a really, really sexy dividend. And that is the idea there. So once again, let's quick little recap of where we're at now. I've got Coinbase account, $250,000 depending on the day. I've got 200,000 in my BlockFi account, so that's about $450,000 in those two accounts. And I'm just saying this because it wasn't that long ago. I didn't have any exposure to cryptocurrency at all. Didn't own anything. And now you can kind of see where I'm at and why, not maybe, I haven't given my reason why yet, but you can see, obviously, I am bullish on what is going on. Before I show you the last one, I did want to point this out to you with BlockFi, is that a couple of things. One, you know, a question I had, and a lot of people have with BlockFi was, well, how do they continue to pay out all these high interest rates? You know, how are they paying 8.4, 8.6% on their stable coin and 6% on Bitcoin and all this stuff? And you know, basically, for those that don't know, they are lending the cryptocurrency out, no different than what a bank would do. You know, they're taking your cryptocurrency, loaning it out, charging the spread, and making what they make. But just recently, they did drop their interest rates on, not, I don't know if it's all their coins, but most of their Bitcoin. So for example, with Bitcoin, if you hold your Bitcoin there, before you're making 6%, and now you're making 5%. With Ethereum, depending on what tier you're at, you can see this tier 1 dropped from 5.25 down to 4.5. You're still making something, and I'm still trying to figure out, am I 100% comfortable depositing all of my cryptocurrency with them to make that 5% on the Bitcoin or the 4.5 or so, whatever, on the Ethereum? I still haven't done it yet because I have majority, not almost on majority. I used to say that. I have more with Coinbase than I do with BlockFi, but everything at Coinbase, you know, right now, there is no interest being paid on any of that. So something that I still have to process and figure out, like, what I want to do moving on. That being said, one of the main reasons why you saw this big influx of capital, of cash, this $100,000 that went into stablecoin, is because right now they are having this stablecoin promotion between April, which has already passed, and then July, at the end of July, where basically anything that you deposit, instead of making 8.6%, if I can increase that so you can read it, they are going to be paying 10%. and this goes until the end of July. You do have to keep all that money in there until, I believe, you don't actually get paid until August. Yeah, August 13th, 2021. And for those that don't know, real quick, so typically with BlockFi, you get this accrued interest here, and then you can actually see this interest payment, how that was actually done at the end of the month. You can see that. So on April the 30th, that's typically when at the end of the month is when they calculate your interest, and then they pay you, they deposit, whether you choose Ethereum, Bitcoin, whatever you want to choose. But in this case here, with this promotion, that is not going to be paid out to almost the middle of the month. So just be aware that that is how it works. And if you do have an interest in this, there will be a link in the description where you can sign up for a free BlockFi account, take advantage of the stablecoin promotion to make that extra interest rate. So for me, like right now, this was just, I won't say a temporary thing, but for the longest time, longer than I really want to admit, I've had all this money sitting in cash, over $500,000 just in our emergency fund. And this does not include cash I have in my self-directed 401k, cash in my different PayPal accounts, cash in some different investment accounts, cash in our tax account and our vacation account and our kids' savings and blah, blah, blah. Just in our emergency fund, we had over $500,000 that was making next to nothing. And when I finally looked at how much cash we had, I'm like, okay, I need to take some of this cash out. And before the whole Robinhood and all the accounts you just saw, like all that was sitting in cash for longer than I want to admit. And that's for a whole other reason and a whole other video, which the only way you're going to find that out is if you subscribe. So you should do that now. So I had all this money sitting in cash, and I got to the point where I'm like, okay, we need to start making some interest. And that's why I moved out, taking advantage of this promotion. It's not going to be a huge bump, but I figure, hey, it's more than like the $23 a month I was making on the interest from our emergency fund, which is with a big bank that we all know pay next to nothing. So that is what is going on with BlockFi. And now let's look at our last account here, where now we're talking a little bit of Doge. So this is my Robinhood account, and you can, let me move me out of the way. So you can't see the value. So this, I think the high that it has been just a few days ago, where was it? Somewhere in there. I think I hit like 320, somewhere in there. Right now, at the time of this recording, it is all over the place. So $309,000. And if I scroll through all these, you'll see a lot of the dividend stocks I talked about earlier that I was picking up. So I got all those. But then here is the crypto, which I just have 3 different positions here. So in my Robinhood account, I put $15,000 worth of Bitcoin. So I bought a third of a coin. And at the time of this recording, I'm up around $1,700. So total equity there. So yeah, I put in 15,000. It's worth 16,800 right, as of right now, with Bitcoin currently trading around 56,000. So there's that. And then we have, oh my gosh. Sometimes I love Robinhood, sometimes I don't. All right. And then the other one, you probably already saw it. Where did you go? Ethereum was the other one that I purchased. And with Ethereum, I put in 25,000, and it is up to 36, so up 11,000. Not a bad return there. And then the last one, which still gives me a bit of a chuckle, is Dogecoin. And even though like we're down a little bit today, it's a little bit down from the screenshot that I showed. Actually, no, it's about the same, but this was higher. So I put $20,000 in. $20,000 in, currently worth $85,000 for a plus $65,000 gain. Oh, that just makes me laugh. I don't know why. Just makes me laugh. So yeah, so there it is. I put in 20, 45, about 60,000 there with a nice gain. So it's about 140,000, probably give or take. So right now, adding all these up, I went from having no cryptocurrency, zero, zilch, nada, no cryptocurrency at all, to now having almost $600,000 spread out across 3 different accounts. Now, if you've not seen this, I'll have a link in the description. So I have another video where I talk about the barbell investing strategy, which basically is the whole concept there is that you have one side of your portfolio is all super safe. And so you think of one side of the barbell, all super safe, basically cash, savings, CD, money market. And then on the other side is more high risk, where in the middle, you're taking out all of like the bonds and all of like the middle of the road type conservative investments. So you have super safe, super guaranteed, not going to lose principal on one side of the barbell, and the other side is Dogecoin. Or you can watch another video that I guess I'll have another video talking more about this. But I'm currently an angel investor into a fintech startup. Like that is definitely more higher risk. You could throw in call options. You can even throw in individual stocks, although that would be for me more like a high growth stock, like a tech stock, like buying like Coinbase right now would be, for example. That's more high risk. Not buying like your blue chips and dividends. Still risk involved, but I would say I think we would all agree that buying a blue chip dividend paying stock is not as risky as buying Dogecoin or investing into a fintech startup. So that's currently where I am at. And the one thing that I'm being very cautious of is at the end of the day, because like I think we saw this with GameStop, where people were willing to literally like sell their house or borrow against their house to make some crazy amount of return, thinking that they were going to be able to retire, thinking that they were going to be able to, I don't know what. And I know there are people that definitely made money, but there are also a lot of people that didn't. And yes, this is a once in a lifetime opportunity, kind of, I guess. I mean, Bitcoin, that was a once in a lifetime opportunity. Ethereum still is a once in a lifetime opportunity. Bitcoin technically still is, if it's it's going to go where people think it's going to go. Same thing with Ethereum and how the NFT space is blowing up. And that's why for me, like I'm very bullish on this, but still wanting to be careful that I could easily take all of our cash right now and put it into BlockFi or Ethereum or Bitcoin. I mean, I could, but having the financial planning background and seeing too many people get burned with taking a huge amount of risk and then essentially maybe not losing it all, but losing a good chunk that hurts them financially. Like I just trying to be cautious, because for me, I have to ask this question to myself and then also answer the question. So obviously I'm talking to myself, but this is a question you need to ask yourself if this is something that you are considering, or if you're already in it and you feel yourself, man, do I need to put in more? Do I need to put in more? Do I need to put in more? How much do you really need? And I know it's a simple question, but it's a hard question for a lot of people to answer. And I guess maybe another way of asking that is, what would happen if you were to lose everything that you put into such investment? So if you invested $10,000 into Dogecoin, and that's all the money that you have, what would that mean for you and your family and your financial situation? Would it wreck you, or would it just be a really big inconvenience? For me with Dogecoin, losing 20 grand, that would be an inconvenience. And I'm grateful that I can say that. A lot of people can't say that. So for me, I was okay with that. But, losing $100,000, it also would be an inconvenience, but it definitely would hurt a lot more, especially when I don't need it. Because with my business and my income and our lifestyle, like we have everything that we need and then some. So this is for me, man, I want to take advantage of the opportunity, but I want to make sure that I'm not being just stupid with my money, because stupid will usually get you broke. And that's currently what I'm dealing with right now. And that's why I'm bullish on this. That's why I'm bullish on Dogecoin and crypto and BlockFi and Coinbase. And for those that are interested in investing into crypto and you haven't yet, just keep in mind, you don't need $1,000. You need $20,000 to make this happen. Like you can open up a Robinhood account or a BlockFi account or a Coinbase account and deposit a small amount and then buy a fractional coin. That's something that you can do, something that's easy to do. And that is, for me, like that's that's how I learn. I learn by testing the waters. So that's why with Bitcoin, I think I purchased $1,000 worth of Bitcoin. So I think at that time it was like 1/3 of a coin because I wanted to see how it worked. I wanted to open the account. I wanted to see it, not so much taste it or feel it since it's all digital, but at least started to feel and get a sense of how this all works. And that gave me more confidence to then buy a little bit more and buy a little bit more and then do some more research and then talk to other people and see what they're doing and start understanding how it all works so that I would feel more comfortable putting more in. So that is where I'm at right now with cryptocurrency. And I don't know how much more I'm going to put in. That's something that I need to think about. I need to look at my financials and my net worth and have a talk with my wife and just making sure that we are doing this smart. Because I also want to buy sports cards. If you've not seen any of those videos here recently, so I got stuff I want to do. I can only invest so much, and that's what I'm looking at right now. All right, y'all. So I need to know right now: do you own any crypto? If you do, what do you own, and which crypto or which coin are you most bullish on right now? Let me know in the comments. And also, if you want to check out this BlockFi promotion, getting this 10% interest here on the stablecoin, I'll have a link in the description. You can check that out. Please do. And that's how we do it here at the Wealth Hacker channel. All right, y'all. This is Jeff Rose reminding you that it's your money, it's your life, and only you can make it awesome. Until next time.